Okay, students, welcome back. Welcome back to another live stream for the proctored practice test today. As you guys get into class, let us know that you're here. Just say hello in the chat. Just following along, and we'll get started here in a second, guys. For those that are wondering, today is a proctored practice test, so we're going to be going through a real test today, and I'm going to obviously guide you guys through it, and we're going to do a warm-up. You guys can see in the background of my screen, I already have StarU pulled up. So again, as you guys get into class today, just say hello, and we'll get started here in just a second. Sorry guys, I'm having some serious, part of the other reason that we're running, and by the way, I apologize for running late today. Part of the other reason that we're running late is because I'm having some serious allergies, which is not very fun. All right, we're back. Yep, guys, welcome again. Again, if you haven't been with us before, I apologize for stepping out there. This isn't our normal routine, but unfortunately, I don't know what's in the air today, but I'm not feeling my best. In any case, though, we're going to get started here in just a second. We're going to take a proctored practice test today. So what that's going to mean is that we want to set aside 3.5 hours. One of the reasons that we set the time, when we do right now, is so that you guys have an opportunity to take a real practice test at a real time. Okay, so one of the things that we want to be very, very aware of or cognizant of is that whenever you're going to take the test, if you're an American student, that's going to be right around the time it is now, right around 8 a.m. If you're in, we set the time for the U.S. Pacific time. But if you're an international student, whenever you're going to take the test, can everybody give me a thumbs up? You can do it in the chat, or you can do it. You can just do it below the video. Can everybody give me a thumbs up if it makes sense why we're taking it at this? Why you'd want to take it at the same time you're going to take the real test? Manish, welcome back. Absolutely, guys. Everybody, welcome back. If you haven't been with us before, welcome. Just give us a thumbs up or hello in the chat so we know who we're talking to, so I can address you as you have questions. But again, one of the most important things, and this is going to go back to the warm-up that we're going to talk about here in just a second, is the idea that you want to warm up. You want to take these practice tests as seriously as you possibly can. Okay? It's very, very important. It doesn't feel, right, when you're 16 to 18 years old, it doesn't feel like that's going to be the most important thing. But it is extremely important that you do that to make sure that you're not, that you're warming up for the real test like you would for the practice test. It seems so simple. I mean, one of the things that's kind of crazy is that, like, when you play a sport or you do an extracurricular, you always wake up, or you always get to the stadium or the field or whatever early to warm up, but this is, infinitely more important probably than any single game of your high school sports career or your high school extracurricular career. Yet we see so many students not warm up. We see so many students not practice like they're going to take the real test. If you take a test at 12 in the afternoon or 12 noon or 1 in the afternoon, and you've been able to warm up, you've been able to think, that's not quite what it's going to be like on real test day, at least for American students who have to start the exam at about 8 a.m. So just, again, continue to think about that. Guys, perfect, that's great. Ainsley, welcome. Perfect. Okay, so let's get started. So all this is going to be today, guys, is that this is going to be a proctored practice test. We're going to walk you through what I want you to do. So the first thing I want everybody to do is I want everybody to open their StarU student account. So search, create, and it takes if you haven't created a student account yet on StarU, it takes like 2 seconds to create a free StarU student. Okay, give me 1 sec. Okay, so here's how this is going to work, guys. I'm going to go through, and we're going to go together. We're going to start this test, right? Okay, so you can create a StarU student account here or search StarU in the App Store. Okay, once you guys have that, can everybody give me a thumbs up? Once you have your StarU student account open and ready to go, it should just look just like this. If you're on a computer, you can click that initial link that I posted, the top one. And I'll pin that to the top of the page as well. Okay? So as you guys get into StarU, it is very important that you're doing these practice problems on your phone. Okay? Right now, it's fine if you're going to do them on your computer. In fact, I'd probably advise it just because we're going to be, obviously you're going to be listening or watching me on the computer. But all we're going to do once we get to StarU is we're going to click Lessons and Practice Problems on the home page, right? If you're taking your ACT or SAT test, you can click ACT. Obviously, it shows up here, or the second page is SAT. And if you're taking the ACT, the biggest benefit that you have as an ACT test taker is the fact that you get to start with the ACT English section. You might not, that might not be your best section today, but it can be your best section over time. So that's a huge benefit for ACT test takers. If you're an SAT test taker, you have to start with a little bit harder section, the SAT reading section. That's okay, but I probably want you to click SAT Writing and Language, because SAT Writing and Language, you're still reading things, but you get the opportunity to maybe start with a little bit easier concept or a little bit more defined concept. Does that make sense, guys? So again, can everybody give me 2 thumbs up when you guys are when you have your StarU app open? And for the next 5 to 7 minutes, I just want you to be doing practice problems. Guys, this isn't just for your own. Again, I keep coming back to this, and this is part of the reason I want to do these live streams for the Proctored practice test. This isn't just because I want to wake up on Saturday morning. In fact, I absolutely do not, right? This is for your benefit to actually do this on the real test. Does that make sense? I want you guys to do this on the real test. I don't want this just to be we did it today together, and then I'm not going to do it. When you're standing in line, right, to register for the real test, you're going to get up there, you're going to have to show your student ID. When you're standing in line, I want you guys to be doing these practice problems while you're sitting there, so that you don't have any, that the moment that you start the real test, that you're locked in. It doesn't mean that you have to do the hardest section. Like if you're taking the ACT today, don't do the hardest single section. Just go into ACT and click verb tense, right? So again, you're on the home page, right? You click Lessons and Practice Problems, the third tab down, then click ACT English, then click verb tense, right? And then you can read about it, or you can click the tap to start button at the bottom here, right? And you can start doing practice problems. Sorry guys, there we go. My iPad is dying here. Okay, so I want you to start doing practice problems. The moment that you're done with doing these practice problems, right, the first set, I want you to go on to the next chapter. But I don't want this to just be one of those situations where you're like, well, I did this during the real test or the practice test, but I'm not going to do it during the real test because I forgot about it. This should be like ingrained as much as the concepts or the lessons that we talk about during our classes or during our videos. This should be as ingrained as those concepts are. Does that make sense? This is such a major, major important thing, and we talked about it. For those that were looking at SAT reading, Murad, I see your comment there. Okay, we talked about this with SAT reading yesterday and how important that warm up is. In fact, let me post that real quick, guys. Does that make sense? So again, while you're waiting, everybody for the next, let's say, 6 or 7 minutes should be going through. We'll start at the top of the hour, the actual practice test. But in the meantime, everybody should be doing these practice problems, getting their minds warmed up, thinking about the actual exam. Okay, so you should be doing, again, practice problems until we have to move on to the real test, right? All right, so again, guys, you're looking at verb tense. If you finish for the verb tense chapter, or whatever chapter it is you're looking at, if you're taking the SAT, right, go to SAT at the top. The suggested practice problems. If you're interested in purchasing for $5 a month, the advanced content, you get a number of perks with that, with the smart bubble sheet, but that's not for today. If you're taking the SAT, take SAT Writing and Language, right, and start doing some practice problems. We're going to be doing this for guys again until the top of the hour, so for another 5 minutes or so. And the goal is that you do the same thing on the actual test day, right? So that on test day, instead of just standing in line, and I get it, 16 to 18-year-olds, right? Rather than just standing in line being like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do, right? I feel horrible. You're talking to your friend maybe that's at the same location, and they're like, oh, we're going to do, I'm so nervous about this. Instead of doing that and getting yourself, worked up to the idea that you're not going to do well, instead of doing that, I want you to sit there and I want you to do practice problems. So the only thing you're thinking about is what's the next question in front of me, because that's going to be the goal on the real test as well. Okay, so again, as you move on, if you do your verb tense, homework or whatever, your lesson, the practice questions, then move on to the next lesson. And again, you want to spend 5 to 10 minutes, as much time as you need while you're standing in line to register for the real test. That's what we're trying to simulate today, right now. Okay, so again, take another 4 or 5 minutes here, and then we'll get started. As you guys are going through this, can everybody that is taking the practice test, either SAT or ACT today, can you guys all give me a thumbs up really quickly to say that you do have your actual SAT test form in front of you, or ACT test form, right? Your bubble sheet, the actual test that you're going to take today. Then everybody give me a thumbs up if you do have that ready to go. Great, thanks, Johan. That's great. Be right back, guys. These allergies are absolutely terrible. Okay, guys, another 2 minutes or so, right? Keep warming up. Okay, again, if you're on StarU right now and you're taking the practice test today, you don't have to stop with just one lesson. Okay, I want you guys to keep warming up. We'll take another 2 minutes, and then we'll get started with the real test. Yeah, guys, if you're looking to read articles, I would just suggest going to I don't know, I'm trying to think of the best one. Maybe MSN.com, MSN, right? It's a Microsoft website. They usually have some pretty good articles. It's feels like kind of a website that like 60 or 70-year-olds would read, but it's pretty neutral in terms of what you'd be reading, and it has a lot of different things. I know that MSN is again not something that you guys probably wake up every morning wanting to read, but MSN.com will give you guys some a pretty good variety of articles that you could read. I think that's a good one, Johan. Okay. All right, so guys, whoever's taking the real test, if you're not taking the test with us, but you want to ask some questions, I'll be around. I'm gonna stay on for another hour after we get everybody started, just to answer questions if you have them. But if you're taking the real test, can everybody give me 2 thumbs up in the chat if you have your test form, your bubble sheet in front of you, and you're ready to go? Okay, we've done some warm up. That's great. We're kind of in the mindset right now, right? Hopefully of the SAT or the ACT. But if you are ready to go, if you're taking the test today, can everybody give me 2 thumbs up in the chat if you're ready to go? Perfect, great. Awesome, guys. Okay, so if you're taking the SAT, we're going to start with SAT test takers. It's almost exact even timing between the SAT and the ACT. And again, I'll be back on to answer questions. I'll be on for the next hour. For anybody that's taking the full test, I'll be on for the next hour because once you get going, I don't think you're going to have too many issues once I explain how we're going to do this. But I'm going to be on for the hour. So what I want you guys to do, if you're an SAT test taker, in just a second, you're going to mute this live stream, but don't X out of this live stream yet. I want you to put this live stream in the corner, somewhere else on a different window, whatever, so that it's both muted, but if you have questions, you can always come back to it really quickly. I don't want you to have to be searching if you have some question in the middle of the test, or at least for the first hour of the test. I don't want you to be having to search for where I am to ask the question. So you're going to mute this live stream. You're going to put it up in the corner somewhere and leave it, right? And then you're going to start this video. So for the SAT test takers, what I want you to do is I want you to mute this video, and then I'm posting our standard proctoring video for the SAT exam. For ACT test takers, I'm going to do this in just a second, so it's going to be the same video. But you're going to click the link. You're going to put this live stream on mute. You're going to click the new video link for the proctoring video. And the proctoring video is going to lead you through every step of what you need to do for the SAT exam. It's going to have timers on the screen. It's going to lead you through the whole test. My goal for SAT and ACT test takers that we're going to talk about in a second is that you do not pause the video for any reason unless prompted for the breaks. You do get breaks throughout the test, so don't feel like you're going to be doing this for the next 3 hours without a break. Okay? But I would love it if you guys could do this without pausing the video for any reason so you can simulate the real environment as closely as possible. Does that make sense? So again, I'm going to post this video for the standard proctoring time for the SAT exam. You guys are going to click that link. You're going to mute this live stream while you go to the new video. It talks about a short warm-up at the beginning, so if you guys want to skip ahead to where it starts the actual test, that's fine, because we already did the warm-up today. But again, once you start the video, as the timer starts going, don't pause it because you have to go to the bathroom because you're not going to be able to do that on the real test. So you want to simulate it as closely as possible. Does that make sense? So here's the SAT. Here's the SAT real proctoring video. If you're taking the SAT exam with us today, you can click this link. You can mute me. You can put me up in the corner, a different window of your screen, so that you don't hear me talking. Okay, and then you're going to start the SAT now. Okay, so that's SAT test takers. Good luck. And if you guys have any questions, again, I'll be on for the next hour or so. If you happen to have accommodations timing with the SAT, I'm going to post this. Post this now. No, guys. So yeah, you don't have to start solving on the StarU app. You have to start if you're taking the real a practice SAT exam today. Then you can start this. Otherwise, I'm just going to be on answering questions. Okay, guys. For those that are taking the ACT as well, if you're taking the ACT exam today, let me know. Okay, and for those that are taking the ACT, the exact same instructions apply. Okay, you're going to click this link. So if you're taking the ACT, can you guys give me a thumbs up that you're going to click the link that I'm about to post? You're going to mute this live stream. You're going to put it up in the corner, and then on the ACT, there's a short warm up in the ACT video. You can skip ahead to the part that it actually starts the timing for the English section. You're going to click the video, and then I don't want you to pause the video for any reason unless prompted to for the breaks. Does that make sense? Okay, so here's the ACT proctoring video. All right, guys. So if you click that link, you should be taken to a new video for the ACT standard timing. And good luck. So ACT test takers, you can mute me now. You can put me up in a corner. I'll be online for another hour or so answering questions. And if you have any questions, hopefully you can come right back to this live stream, and we can answer those for you. Okay. But good luck, ACT test takers. If you happen to have accommodations timing for the ACT exam, then here's your video for you. Okay, but either way, guys, you're going to put me up, you're going to mute this video, you're going to put me up in the corner, and then you guys can get started. For anybody that just has general questions that you want to ask, you guys can, we will be on again for another hour or so to answer general questions. So if you have any general questions that you want to ask about the SAT or the ACT exam, you guys can do that. And otherwise, guys, good luck. For those that are starting the test today, good luck. And yeah, we'll be back online for another hour or so, and then we'll sign off. And for those that are in our classroom programs, you guys will see further instructions on how you can grade your ACT exam within the next hour or so. Okay, and we'll post that in the classroom group. All right, guys. Otherwise, good luck. Have a great test. I'm sure that it's not the first thing that you want to do when you wake up in the morning, but it will help, I promise. And yeah, let's keep going, guys. Keep it up. Okay, again, we'll be back on. We're going to be online. I'm just going to sit here for another hour and just answer questions in the chat if you guys have any of them. For students that have general questions, go ahead and post those in the chat. I'll be right back. As for those that have been on with us for a second here, I've had some terrible allergies today for some reason. So just hang tight. I'll be right back. In the meantime, again, if you have any general questions while you're watching this, we'll be on for another hour or so to answer any of those questions. You can post those in the chat, and then research papers, yes. Maybe on research papers, anything that you can do extracurricularly that will set you apart, right, is going to be really important. So regarding the research papers, yes, right. It's anything that can kind of set you apart that would be very unique to a professor or to an admissions director. Okay, good, great. That is a great question, by the way. Yeah, guys, just for the record, I'm muted. I muted myself on the video, so if you guys are confused about that, I muted myself just so that, yeah, just so that anybody that's taking the practice test doesn't hear me. So I'm just responding to questions in the chat. And then on top of that, as you guys have alluded to, I'm having really bad allergies right now for some reason. So I just don't want to be sneezing in the background. So that's why if you can't hear me, that's the reason. All right, students. So it looks like we've been going for about an hour, hour and a half now. I'm going to sign off. It doesn't look like anybody has any questions. If you do have any questions, you can always comment below these videos. Please help us spread the word and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and help us spread the word to your friends. We obviously want to make more and more of these videos if we can. So again, please help us spread the word and download your free. Excuse me, man, it's just been a bad day with these allergies. Download your free StarU student account. Make sure that you register there. And again, if you guys have any questions or concerns, just make sure that you comment below these videos. And one of our teachers, including me, will definitely help out with that. And otherwise, if you're in our classes that are starting tomorrow, right, with the first lesson, if you're in our classes, look out for instructions within the classroom group about how to grade your test and the score reports. And then again, I talked about it in the chat a little bit, but if you're interested in signing up for our recorded video lessons, we have all of our SAT and ACT recorded video lessons here. Okay, and again, I teach every one of those classes, and all the materials are included on StarU. So I highly encourage you guys to do it. If you're interested in if you're interested in this, and you have any, I don't know what's going on here, guys. One sec. I just screwed something up there. If you're interested, if you're thinking about purchasing a book. I would highly recommend that you subscribe to the $5 a month, even if it's our book, $5 a month for the Smart Bubble Sheet and the advanced stuff, or to the recorded video lessons before you purchase a book. I just think it's a lot more worthwhile and it will help you a lot more. As always, if you have any questions, just let us know about that. You guys can email us at admin@startutors.net. And otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a great night wherever you are in the world. Keep working hard, guys. It will pay off, I promise, and we're here to help. Look out for live streams this week. If you do subscribe to the channel, make sure you turn on all notifications, as we will. Then you'll know every time we schedule a live stream and are hosting a live stream. So, otherwise, guys, this recording is going to be available right afterwards. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and we will see you this coming week for additional live streams. Have a great one, guys.